Yes, it's going.
Jen,
This is probably going to be several sessions. I don't think we can cover all the possible ground in one session. So I'll just start kind of early in the game and give you some information on history. And so I was born in 1929 in Los Angeles. My parents had a home, a duplex there. And my dad always praised the FHA. You know, they allowed the family to have a home because my parents were never wealthy. Anyway, so they had a duplex and they collected rent from the other side. So it helped greatly in making it happen. And I lived there all through elementary and junior high and high school, even into college. And that's another story how that changed. I'll talk about that down the road. I think it would be interesting to the whole picture if you understood something about my mother and father. So let me tell you, they were born in the same little city in Russia, and this was about 125 years ago, give or take, because they came to America early in about 1900. I don't know exactly. But I'll tell you this, I can tell you when their 25th wedding anniversary was, and we can count back and know when they got married, and know that they were already here. Pardon me. This was given to them on their 25th wedding anniversary. And it says down here, oh, sorry, 20th wedding anniversary. Can you read it? I can't read it.
Presented to Mr. and Mrs. L. Landsberg for faithful services to the WC for their 20th anniversary. BR 590 WC, I think.
WC's Workman Circle. But there's no date on it, is there?
1933.
There you
January
go.
1933.
nice.
Okay, so in 33 they've been married 20 years. So they were married in 03, right?
Yeah.
No.
Or 13, yeah.
13. They were married in 13. Which means they came in 1910. You know what I'm saying? About 1910. 1905, 1910, I'm not really sure. I guess they probably knew each other back in Russia, but apparently they were kids when they left. And they met each other again in Chicago, and Chicago for my mother was because she had a sister who lived there. And so when she came to the United States, it was the intention of going to live with her sister. I think, especially in those days, maybe even today, when you're coming to the United States, you have to tell them what you're going to do here. You know, you have to have a job lined up, you're going to go live with your something or other. And so she went to live with her sister. Now, my mother's maiden name, my mother's name was Lena. Her maiden name was Shapiro. Yeah, Shapiro. But her sister was married. Her sister's name was Berman. Now, at that point. So to make life easier in terms of communication and make just avoid any complications and problems of the name stuff, she came to this country under the name of Lena Berman. Because that's what her sister's name was. So, interesting point. So she came here, lived with her sister, whatever, and in Chicago, and my father, they both entered in Ellis Island. That's where everybody entered at that time, almost everybody. And they met in Chicago and fell in love and got married. Okay. I don't know exactly when they came to Los Angeles, but I can tell you a few things that they did here, and I'll get back to that. I want to tell you about the story of how my father, he told me this, my mother never talked about it, about how he got out of Russia. They wanted to leave because the Russian people were not being good or nice to the Jewish people. There were from time to time what they call pogroms, in which the Russian Cossacks, horseback riders with swords and uniforms, and they would go into a town and just indiscriminately kill Jews. And if you saw Fiddler on the Roof, it's not a far cry from some things that happened in other cities. They get the hell out, we don't want you here anymore. Okay, so he decided he was going to leave. Either that or get killed, or be drafted into the army. And he didn't want to be drafted into the army. So he set out and walked in the direction of where he wanted to go. And he came to a river which was the border between Russia and whatever the next country was, whether it was Poland or whether up into the into Lithuania and those three little countries up there. Okay, I don't know which country it was, but he got to the border and it was a river, and he had to cross the river, and there was a guard there. So he told the guard he wanted to cross. And I think he bribed the guard. I'm pretty sure that's the way that came down. The guard said, okay, give me some money, or whatever it was. And so he gave the money, and I guess it was a bridge. That was the way to get across, I guess. And he gave him the money, and he started walking across the bridge, realized that the guard could just shoot him in the back. And nobody would know. But it was committed. And so and nothing happened. He got across, and as I said, he came to the United States. That's an interesting little story. Okay, so they came to Los Angeles. They stayed in Chicago long enough for my brother to be married there. Now, my brother was 15 years older than I. So I was born in 1929. He was born, let's say, 1914. That would work out 25 years, right? So, what year was that? 03?
33. Well, it says...
33?
Yeah, the clock said 33.
33. And so, 1914? And then, wait a minute. Oh, that's 20th anniversary. So they were married in 03. Is that what we figured
13.
out?
We said they were married in 13.
13's fine. A year later, my brother was born.
Okay.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And eventually, for whatever reason, they decided to move to Los Angeles. Once they were here, my sister was born, which was much later. She was born 13 years after my brother was born, and I was born 2 years later. Yes. Yeah. That's okay. What was I going to tell you? Oh, I have to make this short. I'm with the boys and we're doing some stuff. I'm trying to figure out what the phone bill and how it's being used and all the rest of it. So I called AT&T, and they're going to be sending you a text message explaining some stuff. So when you get it and read it over, we'll talk about it more later. Okay?